If you understand this data set, you will be successful for the rest of your life. Consistency compounds every single time. Habits, the things that you do every single day. Repetitive action, these things will dictate who you become. When you look at success, this isn't built overnight. It is a set of consistent actions over an extended period of time that will yield you a specific result, whether positive or negative. And the truth is, there are enough examples nowadays in society to understand the outcome of a set of actions. If you decide to become more studious and develop new skills, well, you will advance in your life. If you decide to work on your physical condition and decide to look well and healthy, then that will be the outcome of your vessel. If you want to speak positivity and surround yourself with good people, then that will dictate a good mindset and a sane mind. What you do matters, and what you do over an extended period of time will dictate who you are. Consistency matters every single time. There are formulas to become successful. There are formulas to become healthy. There are formulas to become more intelligent. There are formulas to become better connected. There are formulas in life on what you want to achieve and what you want to stay away from. There's plenty of examples. What you need to do is study the people that have come before you. Humble yourself. Find mentors. Understand that you don't know anything. And from that starting point, you can actually build the video game character and the vessel and the mind that you desire, because you understand that consistency compounds every single time. So your goal is just to compound, and inevitably you will receive an outcome. Inevitably you will become a certain type of person. This is natural law. For every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. It's the law of sowing and reaping. If you plant a seed of a lemon tree, well, that's exactly what you're going to get. So if you input a set of actions, you will yield an equal proportion to the result of that which you just input. And if you do it over an extended period of time, it is just a matter of time for you to get what you want. Consistency compounds every single time. That's today's data set. The data set of the day, new week, new opportunities. Happy Monday, ladies and gentlemen. The data set of today is about getting started. Just fucking get started. Start. The business that you wanted to start, the idea that you had, go for it. Your procrastination is murdering your dreams. Your inability to be consistent and your inability to commit to yourself is costing you your dream life. If you could dream it, like you see what you could be, you know what you could be. But there's a disconnect between what you want from life and the vision that you have and the actions that you take on a regular basis. There cannot be a disconnection, right? There cannot be inauthenticity. There cannot be hypocrisy between the vision and the action. There has to be authenticity and integrity, right? So integrity, a synonym for integrity, the origin of the word comes from the word integro, which means complete or whole, right? So integrity is not a process of authenticity or a process of honesty. Integrity is a process of wholeness and full completeness. So the question is, do you have integrity towards the completion of your vision, aka that which you want, and do you have the integrity to see that fulfilled? Or are you just a daydreamer? Are you a wishful thinker? To think is great. To envision is phenomenal. But to act and to operate out of a place of purpose is going to lead you to massive success. You don't train the body simply because you want aesthetics, right? Because one day you might not want aesthetics. So therefore what? Do you stop training? No, there needs to be a purpose that drives the training deeper, the mastery of self. What about your finances? The reason you make money, the reason money's important, peasant who doesn't understand money and hasn't studied it, with their ego so fucking inflated that they somehow have conceived that they understand how the fucking world works, yet the world's eating them apart. It's always funny. It's always the poor people that seem to know the most. Why haven't you learned the skill of money? There's fucking a million books out there that are teaching you sound principles on money-making skills, budgeting, accounting, arbitraging, investing, crypto, stocks, foreign exchange markets, commodities, real estate. Guys, the opportunities are infinite. You're just a lazy motherfucker, bro. Like, that's just what it is. I just work harder than you. I show up more often. I actually stop and think about what I want in life. If I asked you right now, what do you want in life? Could you answer it? In a detailed format. I'm here at the hotel room, my balcony, overlooking beautiful Napoli. Maybe you guys can hear the seagulls in the background, but I'm overlooking the port here. If I was to go to the port here and get on one of these boats, go to the captain's deck and ask the captain, hey, take me to the island of Capri, he would know the port of destination. He would know where to go. For 90% of the journey, he wouldn't see the port of destination. He just knows what he has to do in order to get there. It's the same thing with your life and with your dreams. You have to set first the objective, the port of destination. If you tell me what you want in life, potentially, right, it's going to give you the ability to then actually go after it. The problem is most of you guys don't even know what you want. And many of you want what somebody else has told you is what you want. You haven't even developed self-thought. You're so far in the fucking matrix and so deep down the fucking rabbit hole of consumerism and bullshit and what other people think about you and the fucking normie mindset that you've missed the opportunity and ability to free yourself, free your mind through education, self-education, in every endeavor, in every area of life. When you train your body, you learn about how your body works. When you train your mind, you begin to develop your mind. When you train your relationships, when you train your business, when you train in all these areas, you're becoming a refined individual. So your process in life is about massive action that will allow you to iterate over an extended period of time and allow you to navigate to your objective. Now, you need to understand that for 90% of the destination or the journey to reaching the destination, you will not see the port.
But you can trust that if you do the right actions, you'll eventually get there. And it's the same thing with life. You must understand that most of the time you won't see the fruit of your labor for an extended period of time. But then once you hit the 99%, you begin to see the port of destination, the port of arrival, where you must go. And then you catch the second wind to maximize on the momentum. But for 99% of the journey, where most of you guys are at right now, you will not see the port of destination, but you must trust it by natural law. Sow, and you will reap. Cause and effect, above and below, yin and the yang, black and white. The duality that allows you to be a master of life, because you understand that you're in control of the input and therefore the output is bound to whatever you create. That's why we're created in the image of God, right? We're created in the image of God and in His likeness, because we have the ability, thanks to His incredible gift to us, to create things. Create comes from the word ex nihilo, something out of nothing. And this experience of ex nihilo, when you create something out of nothing, when all you have is you, and you must materialize these ideas, this vision into something, that process of creation, that's what life is about. Not what you achieve, but the journey and who you become in the process of achieving it. That's the process. You gotta love the process. So you wake up with a plan, you wake up with intention, you wake up with purpose on this Monday morning, and you go after your dreams. You don't settle for less. You don't settle for average. You don't settle for the basic things of the common man. You aim to be an unconflicted man. You aim to be a superior man. You aim to be your fullest potential. You aim to be a full reflection of the image of God. And let your light so shine before men that they may see your good works and glorify your Father who is in heaven. So it's through your actions and through your influence and through your testimony and through your habits and through your behavior and through the manifestation of the power that resides in you and in the knowledge of the privilege that you have to know that you can wield reality by being intentional. Most people are not intentional. Most people are living life like accidents, and therefore their life is controlled by the decisions of others. That's the data set, my friends. Walk with truth, walk with power. We're all growing, we're all learning, we're all leveling up. The process is long, the journey is long, but we're better together. And with these data sets that we're unlocking, we're leveling up in massive, massive proportions. Walk with truth, walk with power. Luke Belmar, out. Leonardo da Vinci famously said, God will sell you all things at the price of labor. What he was trying to convey is that all the byproducts of life have a cost. They require effort, they require dedication. You cannot have success without suffering. You cannot have winning without effort and without dedication. God will sell you all things at the price of labor. You want to be successful? You're going to have to work for it. You want a good relationship with your spouse? You're going to have to work for it. You want a good physique? You want good health? You're going to have to work for it. But it's easily available to those individuals that input the right amount of effort and energy in order to accomplish their dreams. Once you've determined what you want and where you want to go, you need to input the necessary amount of energy in order to get there. If you want to go from point A to point B in a car, you got to drive. The motor's got to crank up and it's got to go. In the same way, it applies to our life. If you want to achieve success, you're going to have to pay the price. And it won't be cheap. It'll be tireless nights, long days, empty bank accounts, depressing thoughts, isolation, loneliness, tribulation, heartaches, headaches, and a lot of pain. But on the other side of pain is pleasure. On the other side of pain is success. And if you understand that and you have that as the beacon in the forefront of your life, well, work becomes more bearable. The journey becomes more enjoyable because you understand that in due time, you will sow, and in due time, you will reap. So as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. If your mama isn't retired, if your daddy's broke, if your bank account is empty, what the fuck are you doing? Talking and worrying about what another person is doing on the internet. Shame on you. Do better. Be better. Because your opinion affects me none at all. Your thoughts about me, your projections and insecurity about what other people have accomplished or done has no impact on my future. And what I've come to realize is that hate never comes from the top. It always comes from the bottom, usually from the little trolls living under the bridge. And what I've determined in my life is that if you don't put money in my bank, if you aren't going to be at my deathbed, if you aren't elevating me consistently and constantly, then your opinion is worthless and useless. If you have no money, if your health is terrible, if your mama isn't retired, and if your daddy isn't taken care of, shame on you. Especially if you're wasting time on the internet talking about other people who don't even know you exist. Instead of getting pressed, instead of getting jealous, and instead of projecting your insecurities and your bullshit on another person through internet forums, look at yourself in the mirror and ask, how can I change? How can I become better? How can I stop fucking wasting my time and my life? And how can I be proactive towards a better, more fruitful endeavor? My life is set. I come from the trenches. I come from Argentina. $200 in a motherfucking suitcase. Pressure wash basketball courts, clean toilets, flip motherfucking wings, toss them there behind the kitchen, worked in the dish pit, all the way to building a multi-million-dollar business. And none of it was done by listening to motherfucking haters and losers on the internet. And to my lovers, to my fans, to the people that follow me, remember one thing. On the way to success, on the path to the top, you're gonna have these little pebbles, these little minuscule worms in the way that will have something to say, but it doesn't matter. Their opinion is obsolete. Their opinion is irrelevant. On the way to success, the hate is inevitable, but let the losers do their thing. Abraham Lincoln famously said, if I had 6 hours to cut down a tree, I would spend the first 5 sharpening the axe. What Abraham Lincoln was trying to convey is that in preparation, the battle is won. In the sharpening of the tools and in the development of yourself, things become a lot easier to accomplish. I see so many people hustling and going out there with no skills, no refined process, and then they fail. And then they ask themselves, why is it that I haven't been able to accomplish anything great? And you begin to look at their tools and you begin to look at their toolkit, and it's empty. It's unpolished. It's unrefined. If you want to be good at business, there's essential skills that you have to learn before you go into business. Sales, marketing, customer service, logistics, human resources, all these essential skills that are polishing you away in order to become a better individual and a better entrepreneur. And I see so many people that want to skip that step. They just think that it's the hustle and it's the grind and it's the hustling 24/7 that's going to get you to the top. But I see a couple people make a few strategic moves and they make it to the top. Why? Because they prepared. Do not fade the preparation. Do not fade the process of development, and understand that the game is won in preseason. The game is won in practice. The game is won in training. If you want to make it to the top, no shortcuts, my friend. If you want to make it to the top, you can't just hustle your way to greatness. You have to become a new person. You have to develop new skills. You have to develop a new mind and refine who you are and how you operate. If you look at a billionaire, they're not the same person they used to be when they just got started. Oh, well, that's obvious, Luke. Yeah, well, what was the process that got them to a billionaire status? That is what you need to learn, and then understand what are the skills that you need to develop in order to, in some way, shape, or form, exemplify a piece of that greatness or a piece of those developed skills. If you want to become a highly proficient athlete, you're going to have to put in the hours. If you want to become a highly proficient chef or highly proficient musician, you're going to have to put in the hours and the work and the dedication. Nobody's going to stand or give you accolades or praise when you are unrefined and unpolished and common like everybody else. It's the same thing with business. It's the same thing with greatness. It's the same thing with accomplishing your goals. Like I said, Abraham Lincoln said if he had 6 hours to cut down a tree, he would spend the first 5 sharpening the axe. And in those first 5 hours, you're going to feel like it's unproductive. You're going to feel like you're wasting your time. But then when you slice the tree, you're going to be like, whoa, people were telling me that I just had to grind and hustle and just try and chop this thing down. It wasn't working. But in the process of self-development, in the process of refinement, in the process of polishing yourself, things become easier. If it's hard today, through repetition and through effort, it'll get easier tomorrow. And that process of iteration and polishing and refining and sharpening will lead you to become a better entrepreneur, a better individual, a better person altogether. Sharpen the axe, elevate yourself, and understand that you're not being unproductive. You're not being a person that's wasting time by developing valuable skills. You're becoming a powerful individual that eventually will wield these skills to live a life of their dreams. There's a verse in the Bible that says, as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. Your thoughts lead to actions. Actions determine habits. Habits determine patterns of behavior. And your behavior determines the outcome of your life. So let me ask you today, what is it that you think about yourself? When you look in the mirror, do you think positively about yourself, about your life, about your outcome, about your future? Or is it negative? Is it always pessimistic? Because as you think, so you become. So if you think that you're always going to have bad opportunities, or that the successful person around you, they come from daddy's money, or that everything is luck and that you just happen to be unlucky, well, you're merely projecting that into your future and into the rest of your life. So as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he, means that it all starts here. And if you can control what you input into your mind and what you believe about yourself, then that will translate to your actions. And if that can translate into your actions, it'll translate into your behavior, and that behavior will translate into your lifestyle. If you want to change your life, change your mind. Don't allow the feeble losers to dictate through their lack of belief and through their insecurities what it means to become great, or what it means to develop a complete mind, or to develop a beautiful life. Carve your own path. Determine your own lane. Become the master of your soul. Become the master of your destiny. And understand that if you can just be positive, if you can talk well about yourself, if you can, through the negativity and through the chaos, continue to be positive and continue to elevate, through time, that will manifest through action, and it'll change your life. It'll take time. It'll be a process. And sometimes you will have to convince yourself, right, that it's possible. But I am a testament that you can come from nothing and build a beautiful life, that you can go from zero to hero, from peasant to king, if you change the way that you think. And if you don't know how to change the way that you think, begin to digest new information. Stay away from the haters, stay away from the losers, stay away from the people with weak minds and weak mentalities. And find those people that empower you, find those people that elevate your spirit and your soul, and understand that your potential, my friend, is limitless. You, my friend, are limitless, but you must believe. And if you can believe, all things are possible.
Develop how to think by asking why and be a student of life. The moment that you think that you know is the moment that you failed. So the moment you think you have the final answer, that you have the final wherewithal, is the moment where you can get sabotaged. So I'm always going back to my values. I'm always revisiting my ideological tendencies. I'm always conscientiously aware of my biases and understanding that those biases may not be true and that those biases may not be the best way to live. So a bias that I used to think when I didn't have money was, oh, people that have money are lucky. But that was basically a coping mechanism for me to live with my inadequacy as an entrepreneur, or as a failing entrepreneur, or as somebody that used to clean toilets or that used to pressure wash basketball courts. That was my coping mechanism. So as I was there bitter, pressure washing the basketball courts, and I saw rich people, successful people, I was like, no, they just got lucky. But did they just get lucky? No, I just had to ask the question of, why is it that these people are successful and I'm not? And once I became a student of life, I implemented humility and I understood how to learn and how to think. I began to develop a complete mind. And in the process of developing a complete mind, you develop a complete life.
For you to assume that I would be right about everything is a delusion. I could be right about nothing at all. So don't take what I'm saying as the gospel. Take it and dissect it. Utilize it. If it's of value, extract it. If it's not of value, leave it away. Be a student of life.
Every single day, you have a chance to determine whether that day will become a success or a failure. You're only as good as your last shot. You're only as good as your last win. A lot of people that live in past victories or past failures end up losing in life because they're reminiscing on the past. The past will not determine the future. You need to understand that every single day when you wake up, you have the ability to reset the clock, right? And you have the ability to reset the direction of your life. So if you were doing something yesterday that wasn't pushing you towards success, that doesn't define you. You can change, you can adapt, you can re-engineer your future by changing your habits. There's 3 things that I determined that are extremely important if you want to reshape your future. Number 1 is your work ethic. When you get back from work, right? I know we're tired, but do you clock in towards building your dream, towards building the avatar character that you have? Or are you just going to doom scroll on TikTok and watch Netflix? Your work ethic is extremely important. It costs nothing to have a strong work ethic. Now, you don't just want to have a strong work ethic when you clock in. You want to have a strong work ethic towards your dreams. Number 2 is a good attitude. Nobody will ever do business with somebody that has a shitty attitude. Nobody wants to be around those people, especially long term. You make it away with it for a little bit. But if you're a hater, if you're a loser, if you present yourself with negativity, people won't want to be around you. And it's free to have a good attitude. Number 1 is your work ethic. Number 2 is your attitude. And number 3 is your understanding that you need to be a student. What do I mean by this? I see so many brokies online, the haters online. They think they know everything. But you examine their bank account, you examine their network, you examine their connections, and you examine the plans that they have for the future. And they don't have a student's mind. They don't care to learn new things. But you need to understand that you don't know anything in order to progress. And all of these 3 things are absolutely free.
a good attitude, a strong work ethic, and having a student's mind is what will push you towards success. It's what will propel you towards getting to the next level. And it costs no money. If you want to develop a stronger network, if you want to learn new skills, you need to be teachable, you need to have a good attitude, and you need to work your ass off every single day. I come from very little, but I used what I had at the time to my advantage. And I said, well, just because I was born into a family that didn't have a lot of money doesn't mean I can't have a lot of money. Just because I don't know things today regarding a certain topic, the markets, building online businesses, managing teams, doesn't mean I can't learn these things. I can, and I will. And finally, when I present myself with my team, with my investors, with my partners, how do I present myself? With a good attitude, or I'm always hating on them, shitting on them, am I degrading them, or am I degrading myself? Good attitude, good work ethic, and have a student's mind. All these things are free. Exercise them, apply them, develop them, and you'll be one step closer to becoming successful. Very simple.
Most people, they don't live in an environment that is healthy for their mind, that is healthy with their relationships. So when they tap into our content, it's a breath of fresh air. They're like, oh, this is dope. And then you have the opposite side, the guy that's still resistant, that listens to the message or listens to what I'm saying, is like, nah, this can't be true. This can't. Well, I get it, bro. I know you're in pain. Like, I know life is fucked up. I know you don't see it yet. I was there. But with enough time and dedication, like, you can chip that garbage away and renew your mind. So it all starts and finishes in the mind. Most people, it's not about doing something. It's about setting up a destination in the first place, right? And most people don't even know where they're going. So establishing some clarity in basics, things like, hey, get your money right, get your mind right, get your relationships right. The basic shit, the accountability that nobody likes, that hurts. That's the healthy stuff. Because you deal with the little angst of, you know, what he's saying is true, or what he's saying offends me. Okay, but if you act upon that offense, you're like, maybe he has a point.
That the mind focused on future events is miserable. I see so many people focusing on the things that they cannot control. They want to make $1 million, but obviously you can't dictate the specific day that you're going to become a millionaire. They want to develop a better physique, but you can't specifically dictate the day where you'll be proud of the body that you have if you're overweight or if you're too skinny. You need to understand that you can't be focused on the future. What you need to be focused is on the present moment. What you can control today, the habits that you input today, the amount of work ethic and good attitude that you portray today. These are the things that matter. The Stoics used to speak about these things because it is so easy to either reminisce in the past or to be conjuring imaginary scenarios of the future, oftentimes negative, that lead a present moment of stress and a state of being miserable. So if you want to be in a life that is full of equanimity, equanimity means the calmness of the soul, and a life that is full of peace, you need to be here now, focusing on what you can control. If you want to make more money, perfect, clock in. If you want to become more financially literate, you're gonna have to pick up the books and get educated. If you want a better physique, you're gonna have to eat healthier foods and you're gonna have to exercise. Not focused on the future, but focused on what you can do today. And by natural law, for every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. The universe will give you exactly what you deserve. Don't live a life of misery by living in the past or living in the future, but live a life of peace and equanimity by being here, right now. Seneca famously said, we do not learn in school, but in life. Life and our ability to interpret the things that happen to us give us the ability to focus and understand the things that we need to correct and improve on. If you want to live a life of success, if you want to develop into a complete person, you must learn from life, the experiences, the people, the places that you go to, and understand that the culmination of your experiences is what gives you the knowledge to make better decisions for your future. Don't depend on some teacher out there that hasn't accomplished anything in life to tell you how to live, to impart upon you their limitations as to what reality has to give. If I'd listened to my teachers, well, I'd still be back in Argentina, probably working some 9-to-5 job, making a couple $100s a month, having to deal with socialism and inflation. But I decided to learn from my experiences. I decided to put myself in situations that were uncomfortable so that I could grow and become better. And by doing so, and by developing a complete mind, I became better. And the better you become, the better life gets. Every day is a chance to win or to lose. what you did yesterday in your business, what you did yesterday at the gym, what you did yesterday to level up in your knowledge or in your network, doesn't really matter. Every single day you need to show up because you're only as good as your last shot. You're only as good as your last win. You're only as bad as your last loss. But every day the clock resets to reshape your future. The clock resets for you to reset the direction of your life. And I see a lot of people reminiscing on one side on their past wins. So they live in ancient glory that nobody really gives a fuck about, or they live in their past failures, which keeps them down because they assume that their past failures dictate their current situation. But like a science experiment, you're going to fail multiple times. It's just part of the equation. And when you understand that failing is simply part of the equation, you no longer hold on to, oh, well, am I going to fail today? Am I going to mess up today? No, you're going to continue leveling up. You're going to continue being in a situation where you show up every single day and give it your all. Every day is a new shot for you to change your life. Every day is a new shot for you to reinvent yourself. If you understand the power that when the sun comes up, it's a new opportunity for you to live your life, a new life of purpose, a new life of achievements, and a new life of success. You wake up with intention. Stop waking up like an accident. Start waking up with purpose and understand that nobody is coming to save you. Nobody in the world gives up about your problems, and you, my friend, have to handle it yourself. Wake up, walk with purpose, elevate and control what you can control today, and I promise you that you will be one step closer to living the life of your mother dreams. While we wait for life passes. When you understand that your days are counted, that your days are limited, you begin to work with urgency towards your goals. You begin to work with urgency towards the things that you want in life. People say, well, I'll start tomorrow, or I'll get started when the new year hits. It doesn't work that way. Life passes you by with no urgency, but day by day. And so many people live and wake up like accidents that they forget this beautiful principle that life is in your control. And if you want to experience a certain type of outcome and a certain type of future, you must input the necessary labor today. Don't let life pass you by. If you can dream it, if you can believe it, you can achieve it. It can potentially become yours with the right energy input, the amount of work ethic necessary, and a good attitude. Understand that you have one life. How you live it is your choice, but life will pass you by. You don't want to be the person that wakes up 30, 40, 50 years from now and regrets what they did. Regrets who they hung out with. Regrets the decisions that they took. The inability to exercise at an early age, the inability to develop a massive quality network or to start that business that you always desired. Don't let life pass you by, because if you do not take life by the horns, life will just continue flowing. You'll either be a byproduct of chance or you will take life and own it, because you're only as good as the decisions that you make.
Obsession beats talent every single time. I've never seen it in my life where even if an extremely talented person beats the most obsessed individual who looks at their goals and decides to go after them with everything that they have. Obsession is key because it requires persistence. And if you want to accomplish your goals, it requires building blocks. And these building blocks take time and perseverance and dedication and obsession to perfect your craft is what's going to set you apart and what's going to differentiate you in the marketplace from your competitors and so on and so forth. So the question is, are you obsessed with winning? Are you obsessed with leveling up? Or are you just depending on your talent? You know, the small God-given skills that you have that you're leveraging to just get by. If you want to become average, that's okay. But understand that if you want to get to the next level in your life and the next level of your business, you need to focus. This obsession needs to be not unhealthy, but it needs to be productive and it needs to be purpose-driven. And when you understand that obsession is there to fuel you and it's there to keep you on track, well then, the game is very easy and the world is yours for the taking. So the question is, will you be obsessed or will you be average? Choice is yours. Obsession beats talent every single time.
Yeah.